The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
This morning and welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, your station for fresh news, smart talk all day. It is Wednesday, the 18th of May, 2022, and you are on the clock with Erin Greene, and we've got another jam-packed show this morning. In fact, I want to apologize for starting late. This morning I have the bee people. I've got the beekeepers. I've got the bee lady, the lady beekeeper of the Bahamas. I got my favorite friends in studio, Dr. Anselino Davis, Senior Policy Analyst from BNT is joining us again today, and Shikara Lightborn from Island Foodology, yes, and commonly known as a Lady Beekeeper, joining me in studio today. I'm a little flustered because I had to run after the wine people just now and remind them that there could be no wine without these friends of mine, yes, the bees. And today, on the cusp, on the verge, as we approach May 20th, which is World Bee Day, we are talking with Shikara Lightborn and Mr. Ted Dennard about a new and exciting opportunity to attend the Bahamas Bee College. So I'm very excited about that. I want my guests to say good morning.
Good morning, Bahamas.
Good morning again, Bahamas.
Good. Listen, I don't know where I dropped my newspaper. I bet you some bees floated off with it this morning. There's plenty of things in the news. I wanted to talk about just buzzing. Go grab that from her. But most of all, I have to send a shout out to all of the staff at Super Value, top of the hill, the produce staff, the people who look after all the fruit that the bees make sure that we could have, right? The dairy and freezer staff, that take care of all the products that are made with my lovely fruit, my fruit juices, all my fruit-infused yogurts, all those yummy things. And to the deli staff, of course, the people who cook the food are always my favorite staff. To the deli staff, good morning, good yawning this morning, and I hope you all are having a wonderful, wonderful day. Dear sir, this is not my paper. You can't send a man to do nothing for you. I don't know where I left my paper. Don't watch that. That's the next half of the equation. You can't depend on a woman to do nothing for you either. Anyway, there was tons of things in the news that I wanted to touch on that I thought was so important to touch on, including Dr. Davis. Did you know that today was the International Day for Women in Maritime?
I did not know that, but I do have a lot of friends who are working in Maritime, my friends on the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, as well as the numerous Bahamian female scientists who are working to protect our grouper, like Dr. Krista Sherman. I know Kajarina McKinney-Lambert at Brief, and her daughter and her son who like do amazing sailing, and they're on the ocean all the time. I think that's great to have more women in the industry and just really to empower and protect them. Oh, also shout out to Katie, who has her Bahamas and yachties and stuff like that. I think it's melanated yachties. I think that's super cool to not just talk about that gender diversity, but also people of color getting into this maritime industry.
Absolutely. I also got to send a shout out. My neighbor's niece, Leanne Russell, I think. She's on the show before, right? She, I think, works with PIMS. She's in Maritime. And look here, you could imagine. So I'm sitting here, and I remember this. I remember when she was a little mermaid, I'm like, she was a little seahorse floating in the water and thing. And now here she is, doing her work and committed to growing the country. And then the women in all aspects, like I want to say good morning to Jetta on Montague Ramp, one of the baddest, fastest fish cleaners out there, right? Everything's better when you see Jetta. That's her motto on Montague Ramp. And all, like the diversity of the environment, right? The maritime environment. There's so many elements. There's so many people doing so many different things.
And while we're talking about that, on the 28th, My Period, My Pride is being hosted by the Dignified Girl Project.
Awesome.
Right. And I will be speaking there on the role of men and boys in supporting women in science and just generally in our communities in the Bahamas. We do need it now. We need to stand alongside our women, and everybody has a mummy.
Right. And we need to talk about it and to shift the culture. And to stop making women and young girls in particular feel uncomfortable about things that they cannot control themselves. I want to say shout out to all of the mentors, all of the older women, young women and girls that I went to school with. Because I had one of those experiences. And somebody older than me just reached out and said, look here. See, that's how clandestine we talk about it.
Yeah.
But we need to make this environment more comfortable for young girls. This is inevitable. It is a natural thing. The vast majority of women will go through it. Virtually all women will go through it. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. So I like to thank Dr. Davis, who I sure don't never have a problem going into the store and say, look here, I authorize for these thing for the woman them. Just like that, right? You just do it. It's not.
Yeah, the other day I went to the wholesale place, ACH, and I bought a case of the sanitary pads for the Dignified Girl Project because they distribute them to young women and girls in need, and they also deliver education related to their period, their menstrual cycle, and general women's health. And so it's definitely important to me, and I think it should be important to all the Bahamians who are listening to the show today. Women don't be embarrassed. Talk to your children, your sons especially, and young men. Make sure that the women who are around you feel comfortable with saying,
And safe.
Feel safe. And it's not a lot to ask, right?
Absolutely.
Don't be a jerk. That's all.
Absolutely. Oh, Erin, it's funny when you remember every day that relates to the women and can't remember the International Day of the Boy Child. It's sickening listening to you sometimes because you always highly only women like they are important, but they ain't. Good morning, Texter. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, wow.
I want to apologize that on behalf of all women that we have not made you feel better about yourself. I don't know what happened to you, but I'm sorry.
I'd like to apologize on behalf of the texter for missing the show on Monday where we did speak about the International Day of the Boy Child, and it was a good discussion.
Yeah.
And I feel that there are many different ways that people express their diversity, and yes, the young men in the country do need some help and some assistance.
Yeah.
But there are specific ways in which women need even more help and assistance. And as a man, I feel that we need to take that stand and we need to really appreciate the women that are around us. We have the lady beekeeper of the Bahamas in town today inside
Absolutely.
the show.
Yes.
And there are so many women in science helping to support biodiversity.
Yeah, absolutely. Not just that. I want to say to the men and young men who are going to participate in this program, like what a way to celebrate International Day of the Boy Child by showing the role that men do and can play in their community generally, in the family structure which men are a part of, and in the lives of women. So I want to say thank you, texter. There's no bad text. There's no stupid question. Everything is an opportunity for interrogation and discovery and observation. So I'd like to thank you. But listen, we are almost all out of time. I got to bring in our third guest, our second guest. Dr. Davis is my co-host this morning. Good morning, Mr. Ted Denard.
Oh, he was in the.
He's in the Zoom room?
He's in the Zoom room. He's waiting to be let in.
Okay, producer, let that guy in, because I bet you he has a million bees behind him trying to buzz through the door. Ah, boy. So, Miss Lightborn, Shakara
Yes,
Lightborn,
yes,
please
yes.
introduce yourself to the Bahamian people.
Yes, my name is Shakara Lightborn. I'm an agricultural professional. First and foremost, I'm an agripreneur. I worked for, I've been in the agricultural field for the last 16 years. Last 10 years, worked for AICA, an international organization, and now I'm the CEO of my own company, my own agricultural-based company called Island Foodology. And Island Foodology focuses on island food, not comparing ourselves to larger countries, but focusing on the way we grow food and the way we do things.
Ah, absolutely. This time, I'm an agribusiness expert. That's right. But now I'm an agripreneur.
Agripreneur,
Thank you. Are we live in the room?
Ted?
Good morning, sir. Ted, do me a favor, unmute. I think the bees may have Ted held hostage. I think that's what may be happening. But Ted, try to unmute your mic for us, and then you just pop up whenever you are ready. So, Shakara, tell us about the Bahamas Bee College and the opportunity that is available to us who are interested in beekeeping in the next few days.
Okay, so for one of the things, thank you again for having me on the show, Erin. One of the things that has kind of been growing like wildfire since, I guess, 2015 when I started this whole bee journey is people's interest in beekeeping and honey production. And every year people would ask me as the technical coordinator at AICA, oh, when are you going to have another beekeeping training, blah, blah, blah. And I say, okay, next year. But, over the last, since 2015, we have trained over 400, 500 people in beekeeping in the country. And we actually have a WhatsApp group called The Swarm, which Pam Burnside and some other ladies and Charlie B. and Ruben Ramming, all of us are in this beekeeping swarm. There's over 100 people
young
there.
folk.
Yes, swarm. And we have beekeepers from all over the region, actually, not only in the Bahamas. Our group was so hot, everybody want to be a part of the group. So we have beekeepers from Barbados, St. Lucia, Trinidad, everybody, all the beekeepers are in our group.
Okay, so the Swarm is just the name of the WhatsApp group, or is that the name of an association of interested bee people?
Well, it's a part of the WhatsApp group for now. We're trying to get ourselves together so we can actually form a proper cooperative and proper association. But just to keep, it's like a holding area, like how the bees hold on the plant until we find some place to live.
Yeah.
We kind of like doing that right now.
So are you the queen of the swarm?
I can't be.
You
I
de
can't
facto.
say. The workers, the people
Boy, look at-
around determine who the queen is going to be.
Right, because I was about to volunteer. I'm about to, very Bahamian style announce that I am now the queen. And then I heard what the job description was, and I pulled back. You could imagine you have to produce 1,500 to 2,000 babies a day?
Yep, 1,500 to 2,000 babies a day.
Recording.
So I don't know.
Okay, absolutely. Producer, do me a favor, check your mute. He's getting a signal that says that Okay, I got you. Ted, hold on. We're gonna keep trying. Okay, so.
Yeah. So with the beekeeping, so now we're going into, I've decided one of my first venture as an agripreneur, back again, this is my second time being an entrepreneur, is to have training. So part of my mantra as Island Foodology is to develop services, products, and training. I think training is so important in all aspects of life, really. And it really empowers people to try to do their own thing, not only working for people all the time, not everybody designed for that, but to get into your own business and doing your own
Hold
thing.
on. Good morning, Ted. Are you there?
Finally, can y'all hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
sir. Good. Because I was just about to say, you think taking care of one baby is hard? You could imagine taking care of 10,000 little babies.
Well, the good thing is about the workers take care of the babies. The queen just lays them. She just makes them.
All right.
That's all.
Good morning, Ted. How are you?
Good morning. I am good. Sorry for the technical difficulty. I don't know.
I blame it on the bees. I just blame it on the bees and the mosquitoes.
right.
So please introduce
That's right.
yourself.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Introduce yourself, Ted. Let the Bahamas know who you are.
Hey, because I know a little bit about Bahamas because I love them. I'm Ted Dennard. I live in Savannah, Georgia, here on the Atlantic Ocean, not too far away. And so I'm kind of on this mission to save the bees, and I do that through my my company, the Savannah Bee Company, and we sell honey and honey beauty products all over the country here and a little bit around the world. And we have retail stores that under the Savannah Bee banner as well. And so we do teach people about bees every day. We do bee tours here at our main offices. And we have a not-for-profit called the Bee Cause Project that puts beehives in schools. And we have two schools in the Bahamas. We have one in Haiti, one in Puerto Rico, and across all 50 states and Canadian provinces. So 700 schools that we have these bees in. And we're trying to raise a generation that understand, love, and will protect the honeybees.
Yes.
So that's what we're all about.
Yes.
And now, when y'all are protecting honeybees, that also gives collateral protection to other pollinators, right? If you avoid using these pesticides, or if you provide more bee forage and stuff like that, then you also promote the individual bees or other insects and butterflies. So how does that work for y'all? How much of your education also spreads out to talking to people about the environment and
Natural
keeping things-
hazards,
Yeah.
man-made hazards, how to protect
Climate
your
change even.
beehives. And if you intend to produce honey from your bees, how to protect the integrity of your production
The quality.
and the quality, and reduce as many outside pests as
or
possible.
contaminants.
Right.
Is that something that we will learn at the series of workshops?
Yes. So just to let you know, start off with the workshops start from. Firstly, it's going to be on 3 islands, so I like to incorporate my.
So let me say this.
Yeah.
3 islands.
3 islands.
3 days. 3 workshops.
Yes!
Abaco, New Providence, Eleuthera.
Yes.
This lone excitement.
Yeah, load excitement. I have to include my family island. My family islanders, they always feel like they get left out of things. Everything is always in Nassau. And with the help with sponsors like Ted and Savannah Bee Company, who's provided us with a grant, as well as lots of great giveaways that I have here, I'm able to keep the cost down of the workshop and invite more people to be a part of this great event. So we start next week, Monday, in Abaco, with our beginner and advanced beekeeping workshop on the 23rd and 24th. We start in Abaco, and that workshop is going to be on Abaco Neem, at Abaco Neem Farm. They have bees there at their farm, and they make neem honey. So one of the best places we could possibly have the workshop there.
Okay, now, I just, a quick note, I love this because the mantra is the bitterer, the betterer, unless it's honey. Because then honey is like another magic potion. It never goes rancid, it never rots. They found it in the Egyptian tombs, right?
Exactly, yes.
So to combine the magic of these two things,
Yes.
the super bitter neem, plant,
yes.
right?
Been around for thousands of years.
As well.
Yeah.
I imagine that creates a honey with the palate of an old island woman who's cussed mosquitoes at night, right? That appreciate the bitterness and the sweetness
Yes.
of life.
Yes.
I gotta get some of this honey.
Yes.
Now, Nakara, could you let us know how to contact y'all if someone wants to get into this bee college, or just learn more about bees, or get some of this delicious this hot honey?
Yeah, I
Scotch
see.
pep-
I brought some
Scotch
hot honey
bonnet.
here for that Ted does make, and we're working on our own goat pepper honey as well. But you can contact me at 466-3885, or you can like the Island Foodology page on Facebook and contact me that way. And just so to further let you know about the other workshops, after the workshop on... Are we
Right.
gonna take a break?
No. Beginners workshop, advanced workshop, right? That's
Right,
the first
beginner.
two.
We're gonna have a combined beginner advanced because some people are gonna be at different levels, and we'll
Yeah.
determine that when we get there. That's for the first 2 days, and then the
Okay.
third day is gonna be a products of the hive workshop. So if you don't want to deal with the bees at all, and you just want to learn how to make products like candles and bees, a lip balm, and you're a more crafty person, crafty in the good sense.
Yeah.
But,
No. Like if you wanted to make a
like this, like
bee
soaps
soap
and lotion.
and-
And we're gonna make mead. Mead is one of the this is the oldest alcoholic drinks in the world. They talk about mead in the Bible, so we're gonna make some mead, which is honey wine.
Listen, police,
And
I only talking
we're
about
gonna
it. I'm
make-
not drinking it.
We're gonna
And
make-
I'm holding this gold reserve honey.
Yes.
So y'all are talking about not just the bees and the beehives, but y'all
Right.
are talking about this whole supply chain
Right.
where someone might be managing the bees, but they take that wax and honey to
Right.
someone else who makes the mead or the
Right.
soap or.
And we can
stuff
include
like
more
that.
women, children. Everybody can be a part of it. Maybe Ted could talk about it a little bit. Ted, I brought the Gold Reserve honey with me.
Nice.
I had to show everybody.
she's
So
not
ma-
letting us
She
open
brought
it.
it with her, but
Yeah,
she might not
because-
be taking it.
No, you can't. No. Don't try that. Don't try
That
that.
looked like that would be a fight inside the studio today.
So maybe talk about
They're good.
the Gold Reserve honey and the marketing aspect of things. I'm so always impressed with Savannah Bee Company and how they market the products. How many different types of products you have?
Yeah, we sell probably 200 different SKUs, different types, units of either honey or health and beauty products, and that we wholesale all over. We in our retail stores we have hundreds because we sell other people's stuff. But yeah, look, honey should be revered and marketed, and we've tried to raise the bar on it and make it look beautiful, because that one jar you're looking at, the bees had to visit 2.5 million flowers to make the honey that's in that jar.
Mhm.
So it's an incredible amount of work, and people just never have understood that. And then if you go further, like you were alluding to, when bees make honey, they're cross-pollinating the plants. The result of that is lots of food for the animals and for us. And the ripple effect just keeps going, and it's all positive, right? And so, yeah, that honey, as great as it is, represents something even greater. That's a result of the bees having this, mutually beneficial relationship with the plant world. So we like to promote that. We like to highlight that, and just that bottle ought to be $1,000, in my mind.
Oh,
It's,
you're gonna give Shakara even harder time to get this out of the station today.
Yeah.
But talking about these bees and the value of this honey, we have World Bee Day is on the 20th.
Yes, on the 20th of
and
May.
The International Day for Biodiversity is on the 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I go into the store, I see this clover honey, or you see that really bougie bottle of Manuka honey.
Yes, from New Zealand.
Now,
Yes.
now that's that New Zealand thing. The Bahamas is even smaller. We have an even more delicate ecosystem. What about, how expensive would it be when we get that sweet Margaret honey or some red mangrove honey going?
But listen, there is mangrove. There is
Yeah, it is
technically
mangrove.
mangrove honey going right
Yeah.
now, right? So we got
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
What I want is I want the Mayagüana Hurricane Cave bat honey. That's the
Well, actually, Ted wanted to go to Mayagüana. He was harassing me from last year. Oh, we need to go to Mayagüana because we had some
I
people.
did.
Yeah,
I
some
did
people
wanna go there.
Yeah, he said we're just gonna take a plane and fly down there and go to Mayagüana and teach you about beekeeping. And I said, yeah.
they look here. They ready. They ready.
Auckland's, Rumkey.
Logwood honey.
Yeah, logwood honey. Yeah,
is
logwood
the
honey.
good-
Yeah.
It's a really good honey.
And Exuma too. Yeah, and Exuma they do really good logwood honey.
Hold on. So
Zuma does
Y'all
a great
hear that,
job
Bahamas?
with
Y'all need to get in touch with this bee.
hold on.
college.
Wait. Just very quickly. Logwood is a flower, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tree, a big,
It's
big
a
tree.
flowering
It's
tree.
a big
Tree.
tree.
Yeah. Just checking.
Mhm.
Just checking.
Yeah.
Because I
And,
go on, sir.
I want some willow
I was going
bustic
to
or
say
master
that,
honey.
earlier you mentioned like the bees and we talk about other pollinators, but yeah, honeybees are just sort of the gateway pollinator to all the other ones, right? So once you learn about bees, anything you do to help protect the bees is going to help protect all the native bees, and butterflies and other pollinators. And so really, if you can save the bees, you're basically going to put things in place to save the planet, right? And that's the broader goal, right? You start small, but yeah, the ripple effect in helping to save the bees, carries on. So I did want to mention that.
And speaking about saving the bees, is the swarm in touch with DEHS? Maybe
Yes.
To like map out your
So remember
farm.
the swarm- so
the swarm.
is-
Pat, that you mentioned that Pam Burnside at Dungalick there, she's one of our lady beekeepers. We helped her get one of her first hives, her and Orchid there, and we have. I'd asked an officer from the Department of Environmental Health, Mr. Armstrong. He's now retired, to be a part of the swarm, and now we have Mr. Ferguson, who's a part of the swarm, and they're the ones who let us know when they're going to be spraying for mosquitoes. So we're very much in touch with them, and we've been doing some mapping as to where the different hives are on
Because
Nassau.
I want you all to notice, I've seen drunk raccoons. I think I've seen a drunk dog, a pot cake, and a drunk cat, but I've never seen a drunk bee. If you see a bee that is behaving like it's drunk, it's probably not drunk. It's probably injured or has been affected by a pesticide or a spray or something unnatural in its environment, and that's an indicator. Like when you see that, you should then be more alert and look for more indicators of injured bees, and see if you could identify a nest if there's a swarm or a nest nearby, and then call somebody. Right, and call a bee. Look for a bee person and call them and tell them, look, I'm seeing bees in my neighborhood that look like they drunk. Could you come in, see if you could identify and possibly save the hive or save the bees?
Yes.
And I know Charlie B does it quite
Yes.
a bit.
That's his
full.
that's his second career, his full-time job.
He's
Yeah.
a bee rescuer.
Yeah, he's a bee. Yeah, he rescues bees all over the country as well, here and in Long Island. He has hives in Long Island as well.
Yeah,
So there's also Ian Hutchison and Ruben Ramming and there's all Garth
Right.
Roseborough, all these guys.
So this is awesome. If you come and you do this course, one of the workshops, the Bahamas Bee College workshops, then you are becoming a part of an existing and a vibrant community
Right.
of beekeepers, which is, most importantly, there are resources. There are people for you to reach out to and ask questions.
And help
almost
you,
like
yeah.
a hive minding.
Yes, that's why I fell in love with the bees. So, my background is animal and poultry science. So that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with the bees, because that mentality of us and we and not I.
Yeah.
Everybody has to work together to make things work. I also just wanted to give the rest of the dates.
Yeah, I was just about to put them up. So let's start with Abaco. Is the 23rd and the 24th?
Yeah, Abaco is from the 23rd and 24th for just the 2-day advanced beginner workshop. And then on the 25th is the Products of the Hive workshop, which is that one day.
Right, in Abaco.
Right. And then we move to New Providence, which is the 27th and 28th. And that's going to be at Project ICE, which is at BAIC in Industrial Park there on Soldier Road. That's the 27th and 28th. And then the Product of the Hive for New Providence is actually going to be on the 26th. So as soon as we come back from Abaco, we're going to have a Products of the Hive on the 26th. And then we're going to go into the 27th and 28th. And so the second day, we're going to visit April on Bluefield Farms, which is out west in New Providence. And then on that Saturday, we're going to go to Down to Earth Adventure Farms. That's on Cowpen Road with Mr. Sinclair there.
Okay.
And then so the last set of workshop is going to be in Eleuthera, and we're partnering with CTI.
What
which
is CTI?
Center for Training and Innovation at the Wani Eleuthera Foundation.
Okay.
And they're very much committed to training Bahamians, especially young Bahamians, in different aspects. I've done beginner beekeeping training with them over the years, lots of it. So they have a beautiful farm there and a lot of things going there. So they're awesome partners to work with We have Tim Harbour and Salima and those guys, everybody down there.
All right.
Yeah, big shout out to
Eleuthera.
Tim and Selima
Yeah.
and the whole One Eleuthera Foundation
Yes,
group.
yes.
They do a lot of good work on Eleuthera and partner with a lot of good
Yeah,
Right.
organizations.
All this positivity. I just have to register my complaint and displeasure that Field to Fork and all the yummy things
They
that
used to have it, yeah.
And so I just want to say to the Family Island people, you've won again.
You lose your time. You lose
Yeah,
your teeth them
it's
a
okay
month.
because Nassau people we teeth in everything.
Yeah, we always teeth things.
Right, we teeth in the people, we teeth in the produce, we teeth in the marine products, we teeth in the sunshine, everything.
Eleuthera knows quality though, so
Yeah.
they know what they got in Tim and Selima.
Yeah, Erin, I just wanted to mention the presenters. I mean, I have to
yeah,
mention
yeah.
them. Our other sponsor is Bees Beyond Borders, and that is Bo Sturck. He's a Florida. All of our presenters are out of Florida now. Besides myself, it's Bo Sturck. He's a master beekeeper, been beekeeping for over 30, 40 years.
Go on.
There's also David Westervelt. He used to work for the Florida Department of Agriculture. He's retired chief apiary officer, so he used to inspect all the beehives for the state of Florida.
Do we have someone in the Bahamas that does that?
No, we do not.
Not yet.
We don't even have a department yet for beekeepers, so that's why we need to develop this industry. And then the last presenter is Kim Robertson. She's also a master beekeeper, and she's mainly the one who's going to be doing the product of the hive workshops, as well as the other parts. So we have to collaborate and work together like the bees and draw from different experiences, and that's what these series of workshops are all
And will
about.
Ted be coming down as well? Or
Ted-
he's sending
Ted-
all this
wish.
glorious
I
gold
wish.
reserve
Not this
honey
time,
for
but
us?
I have
Not this time.
would
He's
be
coming.
one.
Yeah, he was supposed to, but he's so busy being a businessman and
If you got a billion babies across the world that you have to tend to, Dad, you gotta go
That's
home and
right.
mind, baby.
We
But listen,
well,
I'm-
we did teach a workshop down there.
Yeah. Ted
and
was here.
It was awesome. That was a couple years ago.
yeah,
It
Ted was
so
in.
much fun.
We took Ted to Cat Island. He climbed Mount Alvernia. We did
You have to pronounce it
Eleuthera.
Cat Island.
Cat Island.
Cat
Cat
Island.
Island. Yeah. Cat Island. We did Cat Island, Eleuthera, New Providence, Ted. So he came here.
Yeah.
He did training with us a couple of years, about 2 or 3 years. Two or 3 years.
So
about.
how long does it take for your bee college to become bee university?
I don't know. We got to work that out during B College.
Yeah, and so are y'all
offering courses
offering courses
regularly.
at University of the Bahamas, or are y'all?
No, this is one of the things I want to get into in terms of even BTVI. I would like to start there actually. As being a vocational school, and because I don't think they have any agricultural courses, to be honest, at BTVI. And I think that even with the woodworkers, they can make people who do carpentry at BTVI can make our highs for us. So. Don't worry, that's in my plans. That's in my plans to go and reach out to
Awesome,
BTVI
awesome.
for
Absolutely,
that.
but some of your presenters are affiliated with the
University of Florida, right? Yeah, this is where I first met them, actually. My first bee college was in Barbados in 2017, and I met them there, and I said, oh, you all need to come to the Bahamas. And we actually had a Caribbean bee college in the Bahamas and in 2018, and so, I keep on trying to bring them back every opportunity I get because they're such a vast amount of knowledge. They keep up with all the bee diseases, and so I definitely love the partnership we have with
All right,
them.
don't mind me. I just have
Yeah.
a million questions piling up, and then I have 17
Come.
texts. And just a moment that I wanted to say that I'm not going to tamper people and tell them to wait until the government creates a department specifically for bees. Perhaps we need to sort of lead the process.
Yes.
But more importantly, for the sake of exporting, for the sake of exporting products for production and export in a regulated market, perhaps we should start sort of ahead of the government and any certification opportunities to qualify to become certifiers
Right.
or standard assessors, right, for this export market. I would tell people to begin working towards that, because as we talk about biodiversity, every element is necessary, not just the bees, not just the hives and the beekeepers, but all of these aspects are necessary to create a burgeoning and successful, sustainable market.
And I'd welcome people to come and join us at the Bahamas National Trust this
Yes.
week, every week of the year, and come and look and see which pollinators are using the plants there. There's lots of stuff in bloom in the bush. I particularly like the smell of the mastic and the willow bustic. and just smelling those, you understand why bees just work all day because could you
can't
imagine
help
this?
themselves.
Right.
Yeah.
It's beyond their sort of sentient control. It's sensory.
It's beyond, yes.
Yeah. All right. So
You can do bee puns all day.
So I got some text here. First text: 242 Bee Masters produces Nassau honey. I've had several bottles. The flavors are wonderful. In addition
Mr.
to
Ruben
being
Ramming, yeah.
healthy for me, Mr. Ramming and his team have been doing an awesome job.
He's part of the swarm.
Right.
Yeah, he's
and-
a part of the swarm
yes.
as well, yes.
There you go. That's what I love. They want to make sure that you know you gotta have this boy in your swarm.
From the beginning, he was a part of everything.
Okay, good morning, Erin and guests. Could you advise of anyone who renders free assistance with a beehive I have in my roof panels, please? So basically, you need to have these bees removed because they're not paying rent and they won't help your children with their homework. Shikara, who should we call?
Well, the thing is, bee removals is a paid service, just like an exterminator. So I can't volunteer anybody to move anything for free because that job could take 4 to 6 hours in a hot suit. It's a danger, or more. It's a danger to whoever is going up there. They got to do scaffolding and ladders and get all kind of equipment. So, but I mean, my dream to one day is possibly to have a nonprofit to assist people with that type of thing, where we could save the bees and kind of supplement the cost of the removal, and the beekeepers get paid as well as people don't have to pay as much.
She when she say it's a danger, she was talking about the scaffolding and the
Yeah,
tools
not
and stuff.
getting
She
bite
wasn't
by the
talking
bee.
about the bees.
Oh, no,
these guys just walk inside there, and if you ever see Charlie Bee handling the bees, he just go and he say, hey honey, come with me. Let's go inside this box, and he just walks away with the bees.
You know that
Yeah.
song, Shame and Scandal in the Family? Say,
Yeah.
Your daddy is a bee, but your daddy don't know. He's born with that. He's born like that.
Man, he's
The
a
bee
bee whisperer. Shout out to Charlie Bee.
Yeah,
But
Charlie.
this is a question,
Yeah,
right?
so
Because I'm thinking,
it takes resources to do
right,
that.
but I'm
so-
thinking this thing in my roof is valuable.
right.
Right? So why we can't trade? Like, I can just give it to you and you come and you just take it. And I have homeowners insurance. Y'all,
Right.
please don't be inviting people onto your property to do dangerous things without making sure your homeowner's insurance is up to date, please. That's a very important aspect.
So usually when, I'd get a lot of calls from Bahamas National Trust, and people say, the Bahamas National Trust told me to call you. It's like, okay, I'll put it in the group to see who's interested in doing it. And then people will reach out to them and they kind of negotiate prices. They'd have to come and look
Yeah.
to see what the job entails. But, that's, you get bees, but sometimes the bees don't adjust to the area you put them in, and then you lose them. And people say, I have kind of honey. Honey is, Ruben Rammins like to say, I'm not a bear. I don't work for honey. This is a job, this is a real job. But
Right,
so
so-
you have to respect people in that way as well. That's their talent, that's their service, that's the resources they're
Right.
using.
Yeah. There's two things. If the bees if it's a swarm, which they still look like a big ball of bees, right? A mass just hanging on something. That's something that's easy for a
Right,
beekeeper to get,
right.
and they don't charge for that.
Right.
You don't have to get those removed because they probably will go find a home
Anyway, yeah.
soon.
In about
Anyway, but
1 to 2
if they're
days.
inside the eaves or in the roof, then you've got to. I mean, it's carpentry and it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely. But if you guys saw me looking furiously from left to right, it's not that there's a swarm of bees in the studio, but I was just looking at my timing. We have to go to a break. We got to cut the conversation for just a moment. But stay tuned. You're on the clock with Erin Greene, and we'll be right back on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
We know how important collecting your money can be to the success of your business. Start your relationship with Fidelity today so that we can show you the many options available to you with our merchant services. From click and pay options online to merchant terminals and e-commerce options. We're here to help your business succeed. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit any of our branches.
Play this record as frequently as possible.
Friday, May 20th, it's time to feel good.
It's Star 106 and Four Walls. Feel Good Friday. Clap
The Star 106 Anniversary Edition.
Happening at the Four Walls Squash and Social Club Village Road.
It's the after work.
I got so early vibes.
Vintage.
Block party.
Exclusively for the grown and sexy.
With the best in throwback classics.
Happening at the new Outdoor Terrace Bar at Four Walls.
Limited tickets on sale now at the Nassau Guardian and Four Walls for $20 in advance.
Come out early to enjoy the open room bar from 5 to 6 p.m.
This is a strictly cashless party.
So bring your old school dancing moves with your new school payment options.
Feel Good Fridays. Friday, May 20th.
What's going on, Bahamas? It's your boy, Sawyer Boy. COVID is clearly unpredictable. It doesn't matter how young you are, how old you are. I'm young, and it still put a beating on me. I had no other option but to go to the hospital. I remember the doctor telling me if I had waited one more day, I wasn't gonna come inside here alive. You don't wanna be in the same position that I was in. Vaccines may not stop you from getting COVID, but it can stop you from getting COVID the way I had COVID. You don't want that way.
The most important thing in life is family. And whenever you need reliable advice, you look to the people you know you can trust. At J.S. Johnson Insurance Agents and Brokers, we earn our clients' trust every day. Whether it's home, motor, travel, or commercial insurance, we've got you covered. Call 397-2100 or visit jsjohnson.com.
J.S. Johnson Insurance. Peace of mind.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Good yawning this morning. Welcome back to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. You're on the clock with Erin Greene this morning. Joining me all week for Biodiversity Week is Dr. Ancelino Davis, Senior Policy Analyst at BNT. And my guests in studio are Shakara Lightborn, CEO of Foodology, and Ted Denard, CEO of Savannah Bee Company, talking to us today about the Bahamas Bee College. But y'all don't mind this very polite and professional voice I have right now. I've just been exposed to the wonders of bee gang culture. I was already dealing with the 310 gang. Boy, when they start buzzing around you, you're in problems. Pinches and problems, but... So what do these guard bees do?
Like, no, I was telling them about the guard bees, how the guard bees, sometimes they come, when you come too close to the hive and they bump you first. They give you a warning.
Yeah.
And to say, don't come too close here or there's going to be a problem.
No, this is important to know because I think this has happened to me before and perhaps I've walked up on an area and I didn't know there was a hive nearby because I have definitely been bumped by bees.
Yeah, you could get a little headbutt there.
Yeah, Now, you see in the video of that wasp kiss situation that I had where the wasp kissed me on my lip and my whole face swell up.
Yeah.
No warning at all. They just come and sting you, right?
Yeah.
Now, bees, they know if they sting you, they're going to die, right?
Right, exactly.
So then they always come out and they bump you like at the club. They don't really want to fight. They come and like rubbing chest and things like that. They know they ain't really want to fight. So they try to warn you first. How close can you get to this hive when they like first give you that little warning?
I think it depends on the colony. It depends on the hive. Ted, would you know exactly in feet?
They're gonna every hive's gonna be different, right? You could have one that's aggressive. The queen determines the temperament of the beehive. So some hives have maybe a little more aggressive nature than others, and they typically they come and they have a different sound as when they're buzzing, like trying to get you away, and they kind of just hover there right around your face, like back off. But if you're but you can stand in front of a nice hive, right? And they're super friendly, and but they're not great flyers, and they just bounce off of you. But they're not trying at that point. you're just in their way, right? They're not trying to get you. They're just trying to get to the entrance with their nectar and pollen. But,
right, and
but they
These are Bahamians.
Yeah, because I've been to the Abaco Neem farm, and their hive. I'm not wearing any protection or anything like that, and I'm like kneeling next to the hive and taking pictures of the bees, and they like kind of chilling, and they're not really doing much. But then sometimes you go inside the bush out Winton, and you could be like. You don't even see the hive at first.
No.
You just hear this like buzzing and it getting louder and louder. And you like this sound like a bad situation about to happen, but you don't even know where the hive is, so you don't know if you're walking towards or away.
Yeah.
And when you finally see it, you just got a jet.
Yeah, you better jet.
Ted? Well, so in terms of the workshop, right? A bunch of questions. Will I leave the workshop with a hive?
You can. We have options for people who want to purchase like a starter kit. Like if you want a box, a suit, and some gloves, a smoker, and whatnot. We'll teach you about the different equipment you will need. When people say, "Oh, I want a hive, I want a box," I like to teach people how to do things first instead, because people just like things.
Yeah.
But you want to teach them how to use these things properly first. But there is an option to purchase a kit.
And bees can, under the right or the wrong conditions, constitute a hazard for people. So with this question about aggressive bees, right? Do I need a specific amount of yard space? Do I need to have my own property to keep bees? Does it make sense for me to just take my hive and put it in the bush and I don't, the bush is near me. I know people don't go in it, so I know it's safe.
Yeah, what about like kids and dogs?
Yeah, well, and even in terms of, when people do removals here, we try to get beekeepers to get assigned to say, or have somebody working with them to say, okay, working with bees, because you don't know the temperament of the bees until you start actually
working with them,
with the bees. So in terms of that, there's also you try to do a buddy system with that. But in terms of kids and dogs and stuff like that, it just depends on temperament of your colony, I would say. Like the ones in Exuma, those bees are super nice. That Ted helped to bring to Exuma. They work their bees in just a veil and short pants. Whereas I had to wear a whole suit. I had to wear suit up like I go in an army or something.
That's because you're a queen and the queen is concerned you come to take over.
The bees in some ghetto bees in Nassau. I mean, like Nassau grandmama, they bad.
Because if another queen is born inside the hive, they have to fight it out, right?
Yeah, sometimes, and sometimes that's when they start to swarm, and half of the hive will leave, and the other half will stay.
That's how the PLP and F and M go. Okay, back to the workshop. Okay, so do I need to bring any materials with me?
No, you don't. Just bring yourself. Everything will be provided for you, including lunch, even the products of the hive workshop. We have all the materials that you will need for that workshop to make all the different products.
All right.
So now remember, don't just show up with yourself. Make sure you register.
Yes.
Pay first.
Please, yes.
Yeah,
go to Island Foodology on Facebook and click on the registration link. I'm going to double check that to make sure that link is there.
Yeah.
And just register whichever workshop you want to be a part of.
And we can call you at 1-242
43885.
Yes.
Just send me a WhatsApp, or you can call me, or you can email me at Shakara, SHACARAL, at islandfoodology.com.
And what's the deadline for registration?
I would like it at least by Friday. So at least I have an idea of who I know is coming, and I can prepare properly for it.
All right, so let's go back through
Abaco, New Providence, and Eleuthera people.
Yes,
right.
So.
3 days, 3 islands, 3 workshops.
And I actually want to give away, to encourage our youth, 2 spots on each of those islands. Erin, maybe I'll discuss
So what
the
you
details.
do, send me the questions, because I'm horrible at trivia questions. I write them like A-level calculus questions. Send me the questions, and I will... I got 2 days left with Dr. Davis,
right?
And we try to do it with Dr. Davis here, and we give them away throughout the week.
Right. So give out the 2 spots, two spots on Abaco, 1 product of the hive, 1 beginner on each of those islands. A free spot to come and be a part of the workshop.
One free spot for the advanced beginner workshop, and 1 for the
products.
Okay, Ted, let's play a game. Let's list all of the things that we could make with honey or bee derivative product after attending these workshops.
and go.
I would say, yeah, obviously honey, but you can also, learn how to make mead, the honey wine. It's real simple: honey, water, and yeast.
Yeah.
But there's certain techniques. You can make a salve for your hands or knees or skin, which simple beeswax and oils.
So I was privileged enough to find about 400 pounds of at least 60-year-old beeswax, and currently I make my own lotion and soap with that beeswax.
Great, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, that's why I'm so bougie. People don't understand why I have this attitude.
Look at that skin.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
chapstick, lip balm.
Yeah, I have
lip
some of that.
balms,
Yeah, I have
all
some of that.
kinds.
For you.
You could also make medicinal products, right? So as you mentioned earlier, honey's a great kind of carrier one because it gets bloodstream quickly. So you can put different herbs and kind of, I guess you'd say, bush medicine.
Yeah, I infuse. I've done a sweet Margaret honey.
And then I'm gonna take the honey. The honey, raw honey, and I'm going to do my own infusions. Like we do a sea grape honey or a scarlet plum honey stick for your tea when you want to get fancy. Or we do a fruit rum infusion, but now I'm going to do a fruit honey rum infusion. But I want to do a spicy and fruit infused honey syrup specifically for coating glasses, the rims of margarita glasses and cocktail jars as well.
You're talking about all of these good Bahamian plants right now.
Yes,
At the Primeval Forest, we sometimes have the bush medicine, the bush tea displays out there. Now, when you're gonna hook us up, let's have some honey inside the park so people could come and purchase some of that stuff.
Definitely, we could have a wonderful display hive there.
Do you have your stuff for sale here in New Providence?
Yes, at Bluefield Farms, and that's the aquaponics farm out west, where some of where we're going to be doing the workshop at Bluefield Farms out there. It's in the farm store out there.
And coming soon to the Bahamas National Trust.
Yeah.
Awesome. I got a text here that says, "I just buy the Kadia and Cuban honey. These bees always coming around the jar looking for their honey. I have to run with a piece of the comb, right?" What's the?
I have a piece of the comb here. I have.
Okay, never mind, Ted. Sorry, the show's over. I got to go eat honeycomb. Bye bye. But I apologize. I have another text here that says, "What is the danger of my Bahamian bee being crossed with an African bee? And is this just hysteria? This concern about the African? I can't even call it the African killer bee. I think that's racism. The aggressive and upset bee."
Yeah, well, the only way you can tell if a bee is Africanized is by DNA, and so we still have a lot of testing and research done in that area, but the behavior kind of tells whether the bee is Africanized or not. But like I said,
if they're bad, you just replace the queen with a sweet queen, a nice.
Right? Yeah, you can replace the queen, and like Ted said, the temperament, the queen determines the whole temperament of the hive.
But we have had some bee attacks in the Bahamas. But one of the things that I want people to understand is that bees aren't going to defend a single flower that they're visiting for pollen, right? So if you're walking through one of the national parks or visiting, and you see a bee inside the bush, that bee isn't trying to defend a hive, so it's not out to hurt you or sting you. Just don't bother with it, and it won't have to defend itself. And that's one of the concerns that a lot of people have is about getting stung.
Absolutely. Listen, bees in love. Ain't nobody want to get stung. That's my music. Extraction of bees is a skilled job, and you can reach out to Shakara Lightborn for more. Bahamas Bee College at 466-3885.
Yes.
Or go to Island Foodology on Facebook.
And Instagram, actually.
And Instagram, all their social media handles, and look for the registration link on that site. 3 workshops, 3 islands, 3 days.
Yes.
It's going to be a blast. $200 for the beginner advanced workshop, $165 for the products of the hive, 1-day workshop, but a lifetime of knowledge and income generating capacity.
Right.
Priceless.
You don't have to fly away. You don't have to get a plane ticket. It's right here. Everything is right here
in
for
your
you.
own country.
Yes.
Thank you
Coming
very
to
much.
your island, Abaco and Eleuthera and New Providence.
Listen, producer, shut it down. The Bee College have me excited today. Have a great day, Bahamas. Thank you, Ted
Thank y'all.
Denard.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoy. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we can't wait to see you back in the Bahamas. Have a great day. Have a great day, Bahamas, and stay tuned to Guardian Radio AM. Coming
Time for
up
us to
next.
buzz off.
Yep.